property development industry and attempt to make sense of their coronation.
Starting to make sense, man. Starting to all add up here. He says that in the wake of this arrest, they have become more blunt with their threats, and they are threatening dire consequences if Jordan's video remains up, and that they don't consider these threats idle threats.
Their response has been one of rather perplexing confidence. Buoyed by the lack of further arrests, they have decided to be much more blunt with their requests, threatening anyone they believe had handed over information to assist with the creation of the video coronation. This video detailed links former Deputy Premier John Barilaro had with development company Coronation Property. The video encompassed more than Coronation Property associates. It included an array of spirited characters, many.
Don't miss out on Double XP Live! Available for all skills for 10 whole days. Get ready to skill big. Double XP Live.
You want to be great, you need to sacrifice.
Sam Spade.
What a tough guy you once were.
This really is the end of the world.
This is crazy!
Sound good?
of whom are enraged with its release. Police have made it very clear that many of the prime suspects in the firebombing are in that video. Now, over a year later, these figures are once again venting, threatening dire consequences if the video isn't taken down. Given these people's colourful history, we don't consider these to be idle threats.
As you can probably imagine, Jordan and his team have tried to contact authorities. There's been no action. Makes sense. Your response also makes sense. And these men are behaving as though they are above the law. Maybe because they quite literally are. And the lack of action from law enforcement has led Jordan to believe that they might be above the law, which would make sense. I mean, you know, pretty classic stuff here.
Naturally, we contacted the appropriate authorities, but it appears these men have engulfed the state in a state of fear. It appears these men are indeed above the law. It appears these men are free to point the scythe at anyone they wish, blackmail them with the most heinous, violent acts imaginable, and there is not an authority in the land powerful enough, or perhaps foolhardy enough, to check them.
So given these threats and lack of action from law enforcement, and seemingly the only result of Jordan leaving his video up on his channel with the deaths of innocent people, they are caving to the demands of Alameddine, and they are removing the coronation video.
We've done our absolute best to keep the video up. Believe me, we have. But if the content of coronation is to fall on willfully deaf ears, if its only tangible result is the death of innocent people, we will not have their lives hang on our conscience. In other words, we're taking down the video. Congratulations, you run this city. We were ignorant of the fact that Sydney was more or less 1920 Chicago, but now that we're fully aware, you are free to run your business without further bother from us. Sorry for the inconvenience.
He then tells them that they win, they run Sydney, and Sydney is essentially 1920s Chicago, where gangs run things, Al Capone style. Through all this language that he's using, you can absolutely tell that it's a begrudging decision, and it's not one that I feel like, knowing Jordan's character a little bit over the years of following this, this is not something that I would see him ever doing. So it's clearly a massive, massive threat and a massive problem, and you can tell that he is just incredibly frustrated with the lack of accountability and reliability in the Australian justice system. Jordan in the video further laments by again calling out the Australian media, who are supposedly supposed to be the voice of the people, touting public interest, but we all know that's a fucking joke. Media, it's part of an establishment. There's nothing that can be done. They're gonna do what they're gonna do. He then, at the end of his video, drops a line that is truly chilling, and it says, "There is now a currency more dependable than the dollar, and that is terror."
We've learned that there is a currency that is far more dependable than the dollar, and that's terror.
We have a huge problem with organized crime in America, but it is just our government.
Any outlaw regime that has ties to terrorist groups and seeks or possesses weapons of mass destruction is a grave danger to the civilized world.
The Alameddine family does seem to be untouchable, and I think that was the true purpose of Jordan's original coronation video. He used the example of the connection between coronation to Alameddine, and then the later hiring of John Barilaro, a former deputy premier, like one of the most powerful men in all the land. He had an executive role at a company run by organized crime freaks. So It's wild, man. They got away with kidnapping, they got away with murder, and they also got away with firebombing a reporter. There's a lot of corruption all around the place, but this is absolutely by far the worst that I've seen in the modern era that has been so just like cut and dry covered. It's crazy. It's scary, dude. I hope for Jordan's safety that this all goes well for him. He's on tour, by the way, so, you know, hopefully that all ends well. Holy shit.